Yo, it's Tucson Anime here. When I was creating the Daemon Targaryen video about how the book version is way better than the show version and how they completely destroyed Daemon Targaryen's character, it hit me that Ikimoto said that he's been enjoying playing Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now knowing that Ikimoto is a Zelda fan, not a stretch to say that Ikimoto was probably inspired by the 3 timelines that take place after the Ocarina of Time game, and that's what inspired him to create the 10 directions ability that Kashin Koji has. Statement of Ikimoto playing the Zelda game came from his most recent interview in France. But from the Zelda game, there's one particular timeline that I think it's going to be similar to the way the Boruto series is going to end. I'm all for Boruto dying at the end of the series, but knowing that this is a shonen, 9 out of 10, he's probably going to survive some way, somehow. So the question is, how's he going to survive? Like I stated in my previous video, Kishimoto and Ikimoto confirmed the ends of both Kawaki and Boruto. There's 2 outcomes: Boruto dying, which I'm 90% sure is not going to happen, or Boruto forever living as the nameless shinobi that saved the world, person nobody remembers because of omnipotence. Ikimoto chooses to go down this path of having Boruto being the nameless ninja that nobody remembers. This is very similar to the child timeline, the Hero of Time. The Hero of Time timeline gave us probably some of my favorite games from the Zelda franchise, and based on my research that I did, I think this is everybody's favorite timeline, and it's the most tragic one in a sense. So if Boruto is going to walk down the same path, I had to give you guys a brief overview of the child timeline so you can understand where I'm going with this theory. You know it's theory time, about to talk a bunch of nonsense, but just let me cook. The Ocarina of Time is where the franchise splits off into 3 different timelines. In this game, you're basically given a mission to defeat Ganondorf, the main evil. The reincarnation demises hatred. Link gathers everything up to open the sacred realm. Link basically opens the door to the Triforce, where Ganondorf follows after him and then was able to get the power of the Triforce, but it splits into 3. Ganondorf gets the power, Link gets the courage, Zelda gets the wisdom. Zelda flees the castle while Link is sealed because he was too young to wield the Master Blade. So there's a 7-year time jump in the series. Link returns from being sealed for 7 years and sees that Ganondorf has taken over everything using the Triforce of power. Link goes on a mission where he reunites with all his friends and collects all the sages and goes finally confront Ganondorf. In this battle, in the child timeline, you actually defeat Ganondorf and he's sealed. Zelda feels bad that Link was robbed of the 7 years of his childhood. And she sends him back into time. I want you guys to think of this event just like the event where Ida uses omnipotence to switch the roles of Kawaki and Boruto. The only person that remembers Link's adventures is his friend Navi, which is the fairy that's been with him throughout the game. Think of Navi as Sarada. Zelda sending Link back in time created 2 timelines, the adult timeline and the child timeline, and both of these timelines run parallel to each other. The adult timeline is Link, the hero of time, disappearing, going back in time to his child state, leaving Ganon unimposed, and he was able to take over. But in the child timeline, the superior timeline, you go back in time, you warn Zelda that Ganondorf is sussy. They lock him up and seal him before he's able to do anything, and you're given the Ocarina of Time. The only issue is nobody remembers who you are, and the only person who remembered anything that you did or any of your adventures is your friend Navi, aka Sarada. Fortunately, at the end of the game, Navi leaves you, and nobody could figure out, or we haven't gotten any confirmation in why Navi left. Gets his horse back, reunites with the ranch girl, says goodbye to Zelda to set off on a mission to find Navi. At this point, you gotta realize Link is a kid. He was unable to go back to his hometown where the Deku Tree died, and nobody remembered any of the heroic deeds that he did to save the world from Ganondorf. The only person who remembers is Navi. So Link probably felt alone, and he wanted to reunite with his friend, the only person that would understand his loneliness that he's feeling at the moment. That leads us to the Majora Max game. And there's a conspiracy theory that this game may have been just one bad dream to help Link cope or push through the trauma that he experienced of being a hero that nobody remembers, or the events were real. At the end of the day, After the end of the events of the Ocarina of Time, it's suspected that Link went back to Hyrule and became a knight, married a ranch girl, and had his first kid. And that's why the Link and the Twilight Princess game is a direct descendant of the Hero of Time. But this is where the story of the Hero of Time takes a more tragic turn. We don't think Link ever finds Navi. Even though he has a family, he perished in battle. And we know there was a lot of civil wars that took place for the Twilight Princess game. See, the Twilight Princess game takes a really dark tone when you meet a character called the Hero's Shade. The Hero's Shade's a character that's going to teach you 7 different techniques that you can use in battle. The Hero's Shade is the Hero of Time after he perished as a knight of Hyrule. This is no conspiracy because 4 out of 7 of the songs you have to play to summon the Hero's Shade all come from the Ocarina of Time game. The Song of Healing, the Song of Storm. I think Zelda's Lullaby is also one if I can remember correct. And this is what connects this character to the Hero of Time. And this is why this character, the Hero's Shade, it's probably one of the most controversial characters ever. And the manga kind of expanded on his character, so we know he's the Hero of Time. And then there's a statement he said at the end when you learn the final technique. The Spectre, the Hero's Shade, says, "Go and do not falter, my child." Not to mention a lot of his quotes were about courage, and courage is the power of the Triforce that Link has. I know you guys are asking, Tusai, what does this have to do with Boruto's character? See, if Ikimoto is inspired by the Zelda games, Boruto is going to walk down the similar path. The only person right now that remembers the truth is Sarada. That's the only person he has right now. And if Boruto continues to walk down this path of fighting against omnipotence, a godlike ability that Ida has outright stated that she's unable to undo, at the end of the series, everybody's gonna forget who Boruto is. He will protect the shinobi world from space just like Toneri. And the only person that will remember anything will be his friend Sarada. And him and Sarada will continue to build their connection and start their own family. Boruto has a lot of similarities to the Hero of Time, especially the Hero's Shade design. If you look at the Hero's Shade's design, you can see he's missing an eye, just like Boruto. He's a swordsman, just like Boruto. He was forgotten in history, just like Boruto. And the spirit animal for the Hero of Time is a wolf, a lone wolf. And right now, Boruto's walking the path as a lone wolf. You can see the inspiration from the Zelda game, more specifically, the child timeline. But that's it for the video. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.